Ekedukudukai. Ekdudukakakub. Ekedukudukai. Egegakedka. So that sounds like I'm summoning demons. Oh my goodness. Hi and welcome back to Music is Easy. This is the word game level 2 and this is where stuff starts getting really cool. So as always, you can read along and play along with the lesson with the books, which are free to download at the link in the description. This is in book 2 and this is how the word game develops. So first of all, let's just remind ourselves of the word game. The point of this game is to be able to effortlessly practice thinking a letter and playing that letter on our instrument. So if you're starting with this, you might start with just single letters. Let's go, shall we? G. Tighten the violin bow. G. All very well and good. There are a couple of different Gs I could play. A, B, E, F, C. And once you can do one without thinking, you can move on to 2 or 3 or 4, however many you want. Let's do Kef, C-E-F. Let's do Ged, G-E-D. Let's do Day Cab, D-E-D-E-C-A-B, 3 D-Es. Let's do Bookar. That was Bookar. Bookar. B-C-B-C-B-C-A-A. 3 books. Book. Now, what I started seeing in my lessons is that I would have 2 kids next to each other, and they'd each play a word in a different way. When the letters are close, like if they're adjacent, then it's quite hard to do a big jump. It's quite obvious. But if we have a word that says, for example, Kug, well, we could go up from C to G, or we could go down. And they're both right. Similarly, Dead, D-E-A-D, we could go down to A. We could go up to A. And I've seen this play out a dozen, 2 dozen times in groups, where as the kids sitting next to each other will hear a sound that's different, but they'll both be right. And I'll say, oh, they sound different. Who's got it right? And they'll both look at each other and be like, oh, I got it right. So, you both got it right. Because if we write the word dead, D-E-A-D, if we just write it as horizontal letters, we can choose whether to go up or down. We could go up if we wanted, we go down. There's nothing indicating it. There's nothing saying which way it should go. So the first use of verticality in music, and this all leads into written music, is that it shows us very easily whether we're going up, D-E-A-D, or down, D-E-A-D. D, right? On the left side, we're going up to the A. What's the highest note? A. How do you know? Because it's at the top. In our second, we're going down to A. What's the lowest note? A. How do you know? Because it's at the bottom. What's the lowest note in this one? Oh, D. How do you know? Because it's at the bottom. So it's a super useful way to more accurately describe whether we want a melody to go up. So D-E-A-D, up to dead. Down to dead. So the first use of verticality in words is to specify where it is, but it also makes it a lot easier to read. Say we've got a really long word. Let's, I'll take these guys off. I'll use the one in the book. If we've got a really long word, this was one of the 2 ways it manifested. The other way is when the kids inevitably, or adults, start trying to write really long words. So they'd come up to me in a lesson, they'd hand me like 20 letters written horizontally. They'd be like, oh, can you play this word? Fed, dug, back, cab. Stuff like that. And I was like, I can't, because to do that, I'd have to like look at every letter and figure it out. And I couldn't see where it was. So let's take the word abcadefug, def, kdeb, bookad, a book. Abcadefug, defcadeb, bookadabka. And I will try and play it. I will try and play it. I have to look. I have to go real slow. That's all right. I'm pretending because I know it so well. I did it in the book. I'm pretending to not do it well. Like kind of random, right? We don't see a clear pattern. But if we start writing this out, where if our notes are going up, the pitch is going up, we get this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, D, E, F, C, D, E, B. I did it really long to demonstrate the point. B, C, D, A, B, C. And all of a sudden, it's much, much more manageable, right? We can see that, oh, we're going all the way up at the beginning, then we jump down to D, go up, jump down to C, go up, jump down to B, go up, jump down to A, go up. And we can see that our pattern, far from being something super complicated that we have to figure out, we can just see. And if we know our scale, we just like, oh, it goes up from A to G. And then... And it's just much, much more manageable. So the whole point of the word game is that it develops into needing the verticality. As you play it, as you make it more complicated and difficult, you just hit a limit where it's just not useful. It's not useful to have it written out like this anymore. And you have to add verticality. And then you're reading notes with your eyes and you see where it goes up and you see where it goes down. I actually had this in a lesson today. A young man who I've been teaching for a while. I gave him, I can give it to you. You can tell me what's that song. I gave him a vertical word. Well, a bunch of vertical words. So this is where this transitions into what I like to call, what's that song? And instead of demonstrating it for you, I guess I'm going to let you guys figure it out. So this is the kind of, once all the kids are happy, you do 20 minutes of word game, you do some clapping and singing, and then you play What's That Song? And the objective is for them to figure out what song is written on the whiteboard, but we write it in vertical words. So I'm going to write a first song here. This is an easy one. This is one that I very often do. Oh, I got it wrong. Here we go. GGAGCB. GGAGDC. GGG. ECBA, FFECDC is our first what song. And you already, if you look up here and you're a little bit confused, you're already like skipping ahead to the next evolution, the next emergent codification principle contained within the word game. Is that when you have lots and lots of letters, it kind of gets a bit confusing and you don't like having to see a letter and then first decide, oh, is that a musical note or is that language that we're using? Because we use words and stuff. So here is a song. Let's see if you can tell me what it is. You won't be able to do it just by thinking, unless you can sight sing and hear it in your head. The only way you can do it is by trying. So I'll let you guys try for a bit. This is a very recognizable song. But as long as you are thinking about how to play the notes one at a time, you will not be able to listen to what you're playing. And this is actually the first really clear indication I had that we cannot think and listen at the same time. Thinking blocks off our ears and listening properly blocks off our thoughts. You can kind of dance between them. I'll go into that in a future video. Basically, I would have kids sitting around the room playing it, and I would have them all sworn to secrecy. Only the one playing it was allowed to try and say what that song was. And they would play it, and they would have no idea. They're like, I don't know. And all the other kids would be like, what do you mean you don't know? At this point, you could pause the video and try to do it yourself. But then I would let them go, and they would go, and eventually they would be able to hear it. right. It was happy birthday. Should we do another one? Maybe you can tell me what the next song is. Here we go. Number 2. Our first song was Gagag Cub, Gagag Duck, Gagekaba for Fekaduk. It's not rude, it's music. It's not a rude word, it's Fefek. F-F-E-C. F major triad can often get quite challenging. So here's your next one. Here's number 2. What's that song? What's that song? Pause it and give it a try. And tell me if in the comments if you figure out what it is. And if you're quite finished, I will play it. You will know this one as well, I imagine. And that's all that I wrote for that one. It was Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Should we do one more? Yeah, let's do one more. What's that song? It goes like this. It goes E-C-E, D-C-D-E, C-A-E. Eke de kud ekai. Eke de kud ekai. It's also just really fun saying the silly things. And if you can get someone smiling and having a good time and wanting to practice, like, that's your job, man. That's your job. We can only teach them how to practice and try and encourage them to enjoy it. If they enjoy practicing, you don't have to ask what you've been working on. They'll be like, oh, I've been doing this. Can I show you? Oh, I've been doing this. Oh, what's this? What's that? It's great. I just love all of my lessons. That's the, I mean, the biggest thing, just as like an aside to music educators here. If you're not enjoying your teaching, like, try out Music is Easy. It's just loads of fun, and I just enjoy all my lessons because I get to hang and jam, and I don't have to worry, and I don't have to say, let's try that again, shall we? Let's try that again, shall we? I just say, rule of 5, that sucker. And they go, and they do it. Anyway, here we go. Eka dukud ekai. Eka duda. Kakakub. That's the first half. I'm going to do it again. Eke. Dukud. Ka. E. Egg. Egga. Edka. There we go. There we go. So, my friends, as our final "What's That Song" of today's a little lesson. This is the most powerful concept in all of Music is Easy. It teaches people to sight read, and I'll show you how it turns at the end. If I've done my fingies right, we'll see. Okay, I give you. What's that song? Eke dukud ekai. Ekududa kakakub. Eke dukud ekai. Egegga kedka. Eke dukudikai. Ekdudukakakub. Eke dukudikai. Egegga kedka. That sounds like I'm summoning demons. Oh my goodness. Are you guys ready? Let's see if you know this song. Where am I going to play it? Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the garden is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. I got a bit funky there on my flat 2 major 7s. So that is the word game level 2, how it transitions into vertical words, how it works. This will be discovered as a need. The point of flow state learning is that as you need a tool, it is introduced. This is how this is designed. So you can have lots of fun for months and months and months just playing horizontal words, and then at a certain point a kid will be like, that sounds different to my one. And you're like, yes it does. Or they'll be like, can you play this really hard word? And you'll be like, no, I can't. And the point is that for all of this, at a certain point, again, it gets too complicated. Let's say this was Ed's part. And it was in the key of A. The chord at the top was A, whatever. It just gets too complicated with letters. As soon as we need to use letters and language around the music to support and describe it and to describe its performance, it just gets too confusing. And that is when we do the D line, the B line, I'll get rid of the Eds, and the G line, I'll get rid of my secondary line, and the E line. Let's see, how good have I made it? No, my C's and D's are fine, yes, and my F line. And that's when we transition to written music. Boom. Boom. And we'll see how nicely I've done it. And by this point, people are already used to reading the shapes and going up and down and being like, oh, those are close together. Oh, those are far apart. Oh, it goes up. This is the highest note. This is the lowest note. And you can start integrating codified music. Oh, the B's on there. There we go. And there we have Ede, Dukud, Ekai, Ekadud, Kakakab. There you have it. The word game turning into written music. And then you do a bit of training with, like I showed you in the other video, how to train that with just the stave. You can get apps and whatever. And then you can just see, oh, it's an E, oh, it's an A, oh, it's a C, it's an A, it's an E, it's a, it's a B, no Fs. Here's my A up here. Whoopa. Was that A? No, that was the chord A. Look, confused myself, demonstrating the point entirely. I had to look and I forgot that was a demonstration of a chord symbol. It just so happened to be in the place that the note A would be. So there you have it. It's the word game level 2. Remember, music is either easy or impossible. And if you practice just one thing at a time and you really enjoy it, then
music is easy.